If you saw T90's last Twitch stream, then you saw that it is his last Twitch stream, as he announced he is moving to Facebook Gaming from here on out. Now, he's been one of the larger AoE2 streamers for the past few years, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the community, both with this move and with AoE4 coming out, so I figured I'd take a moment to discuss some of the different streaming platforms and how this will affect AoE2 community going forward, and rather appropriately, I just made a ludicrous-sized game of Forest Nothing. I'm not going to chop all this wood in this time. We'll just get these villagers a chopping, so we got something going on. Do we just queue all male villagers? Alright, anyway, so we've had lots of different streaming platforms in AoE2 over the years. Of course, there's Twitch and YouTube, and now Facebook. We've had Mixer, and then there's the Chinese platforms like Panda.tv. I remember when Tim had that in his name. And Douyo, I'm not exactly sure how to say that. But anyway, now Mixer has basically been shut down and mixed with Facebook. Finally got a female Vil. And for many people, I think YouTube is a place for videos. Twitch is a place for live streams. And honestly, I don't know much about Facebook as a streaming platform. I've only really heard it mentioned in passing when people discuss Twitch and YouTube, and I think a lot of people aren't familiar with it. From Facebook's point of view, that's certainly why they're paying a lot of money to T90, because they want more people to learn what Facebook streaming is. And that uncertainty is what I think is disturbing to many people, in addition to whatever reservations they have about Facebook as a company. Bills on the right trees. If Tristan were moving to YouTube, I don't think there would be anywhere near as much drama about this. There are several AoE2 streamers, mostly in the Spanish community, like Mario, who already stream on YouTube and seem to have a pretty good success with doing it. I mean, there actually are some pretty nice features that YouTube streaming does have over Twitch. Like, you can have a higher bitrate, so if you want to stream in 1440p or 4K and see all the nice, wonderful details of the ads on your villagers, you can. You can have custom subscription tiers, so if you want to have, say, a 99-cent subscription as your lowest price, you can go ahead and do it. Unlike Twitch, where it's $5 or whatever your regional pricing is as the lowest price. You also get a better revenue split. I think it's 70-30 instead of 50-50. And you can also turn off ads. So if you're like me and you like not monetizing the videos and just turning off the ads, you can do that on YouTube, whereas Twitch forces those ads on your viewers, which is kind of annoying because like if someone new comes to your stream and the first thing they see is an ad, there's a good chance that they just click away and don't watch your stream. But then there's also the viewer experience, which I feel is just much better on Twitch at the moment than on any other platform, be it YouTube, Mixer, or what I've seen from Facebook. On YouTube, the one thing that I can never manage to do is get a theater mode-like experience with the chat on one side of the screen and the stream on the other side of the stream. That was a problem with me for Mixer, too. Just like as someone who likes to interact in a chat when watching a stream, those platforms don't seem nearly as fun for me. Although if you are someone who, there's a lot of people who just, they don't chat, they just put the stream on full screen and watch it, and for them, it's probably fine. But there's different users and different people have different preferences for different mechanics on different platforms. Let's see, chop that tree so I can build a house, please. Oh, and then there's sub-gifting. That's the big one, the big advantage that Twitch has over other platforms now. I mean, obviously you're going to get more money if like Facebook is just paying Tristan money, then that's going to be more than he'd make from sub-gifting, most likely. But if you're other streamers, a lot of your income probably comes from gifted subs. There's a basic principle in various areas that the majority of your profits will come from a very small number of your users. It's the Raid Shadow Legends strategy of you make a crappy game, but you put enough money to getting people to download and play the tutorial. And eventually some of those users will spend money on your game, then some of those users will spend a lot of money on your game. Basically, if you throw enough darts at the broadside of a barn, eventually you'll end up with an infinite Shakespeare monkey that scrapes a fish off the bottom of a barrel. Only it won't be a fish because it's a dolphin, and those are mammals. And the dolphin can emulate a whale, and the whale will spend money on your product. And that's kind of what sub-gifting is, that you're going to have a few users who are going to come and gift 100 subs to your stream all of a sudden. And then that's more than you'd get in that same time period of streaming, just with people naturally subscribing. And there's also the community aspects to it too. Like, it's fun if someone gifts you a sub, then you can use all the emotes and interact with people and whatever sub things. So like, you get the build orders if you're watching Hera's stream or whatnot. Other platforms I don't think have a similar system to that. Then there's also like the raids and the hosts, where you're building a community within multiple communities that can raid each other and share viewers. And while other platforms like Facebook and YouTube have different avenues for discoverability, like Twitch, when a new game comes out, you have you see the top streamers at the top of the game category, and then if you scroll all the way down, you'll start to see people with like, hundreds or tens of viewers, and those people really won't get anyone else watching their stream because everyone watches the top streamers. Whereas on other platforms, there's more opportunities for being recommended videos. Like, someone can just make a video out of nowhere that becomes popular, and then they blow up in the YouTube algorithms and get recommended to everyone. And streaming can be kind of similar. It's still a bit awkward to watch streams on YouTube, but they're getting a bit better. Let's see, I should delete this house now and build a mill. Anyway, there's I made a list of stuff I wanted to talk about. I gotta scroll down now. Yeah, so there's a game of politics behind the scenes in all of this streaming stuff. Like here on Forest Nothing, we build a mill and delete it so that we can build farms. In streaming, you're gonna throw money at streamers hoping that they can get people to your platform and interact with it. Like back when Viper moved to Mixer, Microsoft is not one monolith where everyone has the same opinion. It consists of different teams with different opinions and even people within the teams who have different opinions from each other. So I know when Viper moved to Mixer, the Mixer team obviously is happy of, hey, here's a streamer who's playing a popular Microsoft game who's going to be using our streaming service. Yay! But then the Age of Empires team looks at that and says, wait a minute, Viper's going to go to Mixer. He's not going to get anywhere near the viewer numbers he gets on Twitch. Our sales are going to go down because fewer people will be seeing the streams and buying Age of Empires. This is a bad thing. And Facebook's going to work kind of the same way. They have a very specific goal, is that they want T90 streaming on their platform because they want more people using Facebook gaming. So then you have to ask, one of T90's principles is always having open streaming for his tournaments. Now, sometimes you have to display a banner or put something in the title of your stream, but there was never a monetary barrier for anyone to cast Hidden Cup. If you wanted to cast Hidden Cup to 5 viewers or to 1,000 viewers, you could just open up your stream, get set up, and pretty much cast it. Now, Facebook is going to have an incentive to have events on Facebook. So going forward, one of the things Tristan's going to have to deal with is how will he manage events? Like, will they still be open streaming? Will Facebook force tournaments to be only on Facebook? And that matters not just for him, but for other people who are interested in sponsoring AoE2 events. Like, personally, I think Red Bull is disgusting and I'd never drink it. But they did just put a whole bunch of money into AoE2 events. So whether it's them or other sponsors, they're going to look at, okay, how valuable is it to sponsor AoE2 events, which basically comes down to, well, what are the viewer numbers? There's different metrics for measuring viewer numbers, but overall, if you take your biggest streamer, you move him to another platform, and you cut down his viewer numbers, all of a sudden AoE2 or Age of Empires in general becomes much less valuable as a target for them to sponsor. See if I can get these trees over here chopped so I can get another house. And will people want to sponsor streams if they're some type of Facebook exclusivity? How did that Vil get back there? Like, did you... That Vil was just inside the town center chopping those trees. Oh, thanks. Thanks, D. I just want to play a game of Forest Nothing in the background, and you keep bugging out on me. Oh, well. Anyway, next thing is T90. We saw Viper move to Mixer and didn't really maintain the same viewer numbers. And he had a very different type of stream than Tristan has. Viper can just go and play the game, and he's such a good player he could just stream his POV and people will watch him. Whereas Tristan's streams rely a lot more on building his community and playing the low elo legends and the community games and interacting with people as they're playing AoE 2. And now all of a sudden that community isn't going to be there the same way it has been on Twitch. So I'm just curious, what type of stream is he going to do? Is it still going to be community games on Fridays? Will we still have the same content that he'll be able to upload to his YouTube and people watch there, even if they're not watching on the stream? Will he have to come up with new types of content that are more appropriate for Facebook, or that can perhaps use tools on Facebook's platform better than he had on Twitch? Now, I don't know, because I know he's someone who definitely cares about his community, and I've seen other streamers, even in Age of Empires, go through the mental burnout if all of a sudden there are changes and their stream isn't as successful as it was in the past. That can take a toll on you. And if Tristan somehow goes from several thousand viewers to 1,000 viewers, or even maybe to several hundred viewers if people don't really want to go over to Facebook, then I hope he's okay with dealing that. Because I've met him before. I've known him for years. I first met him we used to live near the same region, so we both planned our flights together for a meetup. I think we were flying through Philly, and he told me about how he was really tall and he needed the aisle seat. But then I met him and we were the same height, so I got stuck with the center seat. But no, I just hope that he is someone who is going to be okay, because it's going to be a huge change for him, not just in moving to another platform, but in the way he will be interacting with people on that platform. And we've only had 1 out of 10 villagers end up being female. Some weird sequence of coin flips. Anyway, so part of Facebook is there some Facebook magic that will give him viewers? And that, I don't know. I don't know enough about the platform to say that. I feel like, for the most part, he's going to be essentially developing a community from scratch again. There will be some people who go from other places to watch him on Facebook, and there will probably be some events that he casts on Facebook. But by and large, there's a big question of, are there people on Facebook who are going to be watching his stream who were not already watching him on Twitch? That I don't know. And that he probably doesn't know. That I don't think anyone knows. That'll be to be determined in the future. There's also a lot of people wondering, what's going to happen now that AoE 4 is coming out, just at the time that he is making this move. Is this going to have an impact on AoE 4's success? Well, I think if he's someone who's going to stream AoE 4, there certainly will be fewer people watching AoE 4 streams on... Yeah. If the biggest streamer isn't streaming the game on Twitch, they're not just going to go to Facebook and be like, hey, T90's here, let's watch him stream the game. So how is that going to affect... are we going to have a similar Microsoft situation where the team is like, well, not going to sell as many copies of this game because he's not streaming it on his main channel? And the other thing is, I think a lot of people might have this idea that people in the AoE 2 community are worried that AoE 4 comes out and everyone will switch there and it'll kill AoE 2. I don't think people are really worried about that happening. I think people are worried more about what if AoE 4 comes out and it's not particularly successful. Maybe some other people, maybe some StarCraft players or players from other games pick it up they'll check it out when it comes out. But if they don't consistently play it, say, a couple of months after release, AoE 4 dies out, then what happens to AoE 2 if AoE 4 manages to kind of kill general interest in Age of Empires as a franchise? That's the threat. That's the I think the concern most people are looking at, rather than no. If they switch to AoE 4, then oh well, people just switch to AoE 4 and we play that game, and nothing really changes. But how successful will AoE 4 be? That's something no one really knows or can tell until it comes out. Probably not even Microsoft knows that. We know that they have a very the way they choose to spend their money very much depends on whether they see a return on their investments. So it could go the way of like AoE 1DE or Age of Mythology Extended Edition, where they see sales numbers aren't that great. We don't really see much of a future in continuing to invest in it. We're not going to keep putting money into it. And if that happens, then most of the tournaments and stuff we've been seeing probably stop being sponsored. And, well, who knows what happens at that point? Does the community continue sponsoring tournaments? Do people move on to other games if they already have streams that are built up and are relying on that stream as a source of income? If they see AoE 2 going down, do they try to move to other games? Who knows? We do know that AoE 4 does have some type of post-release roadmap, simply because they're not releasing all of the features when it comes out. Stuff like their ranked seasons or their scenario editors will not be there on release, so they do have plans to finish that up in, I guess, probably the first half of 2022. But beyond that, I don't think anyone really knows what their plans are, and that's kind of contributing to why is Tristan making this move, because he doesn't know what AoE 4 has in store for him. Will the game, if AoE 4 isn't a success and he runs his business based on AoE 4 and AoE 2, what happens if the game flops and a few months from now, all of the support we've been having from Microsoft goes away? Does his business shrink? Does it still become something he's able to, live off of like he had been doing so far? There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's probably the main theme of what's happening and what will play out over the next few weeks. You'll see people trying AoE 4. You'll see people continuing stuff with AoE 2. Like, I'm just glad we got King of the Desert coming up, so we'll at least have some good AoE 2 content. House, I can fit a house there. But anyway, so those are my thoughts at this point. Nothing else really to say other than, we do hope that T90 is able to, still be happy as he's streaming over there. Because I know streaming means a lot to him, so hopefully it does work out for him. And who knows, maybe after 6 months or so, he's back on Twitch because he doesn't really have any viewers and his contract's up. But anyway, that's it for now. I guess I didn't need to make this map ludicrous sized. So many trees out here in the middle of nowhere. Oh no, my farm's expiring. No. Can't talk about T90 without having a farm that goes bad. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.